All right. I'm going to break this up into three different videos on how to basically build and format a chart. We might do some videos later on specific charts of scatter plots, histograms, box plots, if there's an interest in that. But this is generally just to get you started of the options of how to get your chart looking the way you want, because it's important in this class to be able to, one of the things you're going to be graded on is on how you present your data. So we're going to do this in three parts. First, of how to build and label it. Second, how to add any kind of indicator lines that you might want to it. And then three, how to add a legend to your chart to make it easier to read. So the first one is just building and formatting the chart. So first we need, what do we want to build a plot of? So looking back at our loans data, we've got a lot of information in here, but two of the variables we have are an idea of the total credit that a person has out versus their annual income. So let's make a plot of that. So I'm going to go ahead and create myself a new code chunk to write this in. And I'm going to say plot because that is our scatter plot. And I'm going to say I want to plot my loans, $. Let's do my total credit limit. And then I'm going to do that versus squiggly by what do I want to see that it responds to. And I'm going to say the other variable loans $. Let's just call it annual income. Now I could definitely stop right there. And I could run this plot as is and go ahead and run it, and there is my plot. So this is the data, but it's a little difficult to read. It's just using the variable names, which are at least somewhat descriptive, but sometimes can't. But there's no title. I don't know what's going on, right? What we want to do is we want to add options here. So that means I'm going to say comma, and now I'm going to start giving it options that I want. So one of the first ones I'm going to do is just main. And so I'm going to say main equals, and then in quotes, this is going to be the title. So I'm just going to call this something easy to read, credit limit versus income, right? All right. And then I could run this as I go. Now I've got a title, but I'm going to add more. I can keep on adding options. And so the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do labels for the x-axis and y-axis, so I know what they are and what units they are, right? So I'm going to say from my x-axis, that is x lab, that stands for x label. And I put that in quotes again to give it a title. So this is, we're going to say annual income. And I'm going to let you know that it is in dollars. And then end quote. And I'm going to just go ahead and say, I'm going to give my Y label as well, which is YLAB. And I'm going to say this is, we're going to say credit limit. And I'm going to let you know again that that is in dollars, end quote. All right, so I can go ahead and run that. And this is already looking a lot better. Other options that you can, if you want to, as you add, you do not have to. I'm going to go ahead and add, I don't like the open circles, right? So PCH, if I say PCH equals, that is telling me what do I want my points to look like. And you can look online, see all the numbers of them. But for example, off the top of my head, I know that 19 means I want these to be filled in circles. And so I can go ahead and run that, and now they are all filled in circles. Now it looks a little drab. If I want to, COL is going to tell me the color of those. So I'm going to say, hey, make those dark blue. Now I can run it. Maybe it looks a little bit nicer now. Another thing you might want to do is you might want to say, hey, you know what? I actually don't care about this data, anything above $150,000 of annual income. So I could take that data out, or I could just change my my limits of my range and domain, my limits of my X and Y. So if I want to change my X limits, I can say X, I'm sorry, not S. I'm going to say X lim, right? And I'm going to say equals, but because it has to be a range, I have to say C and then open parentheses to say where I want to go from and to. So I'm going to say from 0 to 150,000 on there. And then I could go ahead and run that. And now it's only going from 0 to 150,000. There's no reason for me to go above, it looks like maybe 40,000. Let's say 50,000 is my Y limit. So I'm going to say Y limit equals C to say I'm going to do a vector of numbers, and I'm going to say go from 0 to what do we say, about 50,000, 50, 1, 2, 3. And let me run that. Oh, I missed a 0. That's not 50,000. I want to be 500,000. So let's do that. There, now I got a nice little zoomed in thing there. And that is pretty much a lot of the basics of a lot of those options that you will put in there to make your graph look exactly how you want it to look. So I'm going to let you guys go on that one to try to keep this short, but on the next one, we will show how to add lines to your graph to bring out certain pieces of information. Shoot me a message if you got a question. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.